Well, the president was fired up on all cylinders yesterday as he said, what I said on Saturday about Charlottesville was more accurate than what I said on Monday. And here's part of what he said yesterday.
Those people, all of those people, excuse me, I've condemned neo-Nazis. I've condemned many different groups, but not all of those people were neo-Nazis, believe me. Not all of those people were white supremacists by any stretch. Those people were also there because they wanted to protest the taking down of a statue, Robert E. Lee.
On the line to discuss that, Steve Adubato, host of the PBS flagship WNET and NJTV series, where he has just been nominated for an Emmy for Best Host. Thanks for jumping on board again, Steve.
My honor and pleasure, as always, my friend Curtis.
All right, so what did you make of the off-the-script comments that Donald Trump made yesterday at that impromptu press conference?
Curtis, it's depressing, it's scary, it's confusing. It's, in fact, Donald Trump. Without plugging the book too much, about a year and a half ago, I had to file, with my editor. And I remember writing during the campaign that I felt that the biggest problem if Donald Trump ever became president as a leader is that he's emotionally immature. He is not equipped to make sound decisions. He goes with his instincts. Oh, that's great. He speaks, off the cuff. He tells it like it is. Garbage. That's crap, Curtis. What he does is talk out of a certain part of his anatomy that I'm not going to talk about on a family program like yours. The fact is, what the hell was he doing having that press conference the other day and saying publicly, I get it, I understand, neo-Nazis, fascists, the KKK, white supremacists, they're terrible people, they're horrible. They were walking in Charlotteville and they were saying basically death to Jews. We want our country back. White America. He knew it. He, in 2000, in an interview with Tim Russert, the press said, David Duke is a horrible human being. He's not what this country's about. All of a sudden, he doesn't know who David Duke is. He didn't know he was there. He is so inconsistent. He is consistently inconsistent, and he is dangerous and scary. And this is not about politics or Democrats and Republicans. Curtis, to me, this is about our country. This is about coming together. This is about the fact that Donald Trump is tearing it apart.
But what about his contention that it took two to tango? Not only the white supremacists with their batons and their shields, but members of Black Lives Matter and the anti-Klan coalition, they'd also charged their adversaries.
Curtis, here's the thing. When certain members of Black Lives Matter were marching in the streets and yelling, basically, what do we want, a dead cop? What do we want now? Along with countless other commentators, I said this is horrible. This is un-American. This is racist. This is anti-cop. But here's the problem with Trump. What is he doing bringing those other things up when, in fact, even if that were technically accurate that some of those were there to do that, the fact is it was the neo-Nazis, the fascists, the KKK that is down there in Virginia causing this insanity. And, in fact, to try to bring that up right now is like if I were bringing up those other issues about the Black Lives Matter, I'd say, by the way, let's talk about the KKK. Can't he just call it what it is?
All right, but
Can't he just focus on one thing at a time?
He tried to clarify. He tried to say, yeah, it was bad, neo-Nazis, white supremacists, KKK.
Yeah, but there are some good ones, Curtis. There are some good neo-Nazis. There are some good KKK. That is lunacy.
Well, do you think he meant that, or he meant the Confederate preservationists that were there, the reenactors, the folks who weren't necessarily flying a Nazi flag or a Confederate flag?
Curtis, you are the quintessential New Yorker, and you smell BS a million miles away. If you are in that rally on the Friday night and they're marching on the University of Virginia with torches, right, and they are sitting there and they are yelling and screaming and they are chanting basically death to Jews and white America and we want our country back, if you're in that march, don't you know that you're involved in something crazy? If they're saying we're going to kick some ass, and we have weapons with us, we have helmets with us, we have bats with us. Don't you know you're involved in something that doesn't make any sense?
Now, so
Trump has to make sure everybody knows that they're good ones.
All right, but wouldn't you say, Steve, in this whole scenario that unfolded as we watched it play out on TV over and over again, Terry McAuliffe, the governor of the state of Virginia, who acts like a victim here, he held the cops back. He held the state troopers back, the local cops back. They didn't even get in between these demonstrators.
You know, I feel for cops because they're in a no-win situation, but I'll tell you what, one of the worst things you can do is to have cops there but not really there. Have cops on the scene but not ready to do what they need to do. And if Terry McAuliffe as governor thought that what he was doing was trying to mollify those or pacify those who are out protesting on both sides, then what he did was he created an environment where they can beat the crap out of each other, right? Excuse my language. And no cops were going to intervene. Terry McAuliffe is accountable for that and other elected officials in that community that took that approach because clearly it was wrong.